recording. Okay, so I want to welcome you guys. If you guys are new, we will do introductions at the end, and you guys can all talk about your closets and all of that. I wanted to do today as your closet insight and everything about your closet insight, because it is a brand new year. And if you guys only have, maybe 10 seconds, maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and you want to go shopping to grow your business, this is going to make it so you can literally run into the thrift store and know exactly what to do, what to look at, and what to pick up. Okay. So if you guys have any questions in between while I'm going through the slides, there's a little hand button that you can hit, and I will answer your questions. If you guys want to wait until the end, you guys can wait till the end, introduce yourself, ask your questions. And you've got me and Kathleen, but I call her Kat. She has been also reselling for a very, very long time. So if I don't know the answer, she'll know the answer. She's been on Poshmark actually almost 4 extra years than I have, but I've been reselling. Well, I think we have about the same amount of reselling experience. So I'm gonna go ahead and start sharing my screen. So if you guys are on your phone and you guys want to follow along on your phone for the where is it? There it is. Of how to get to your closet insight, it's super, super easy. All that you guys have to do is go onto your little hold on, let me show that one first before I do the laptop. So there's 2 ways of getting to your closet insight. You can do the laptop and you can do your phone. If you go into your phone, the phone is much easier than the laptop. You literally click on your closet name in the bottom corner where it says, your closet name. And you click on that, and then you'll have that whole, there we go. You'll have this whole lineup pop up where it says, your guides to Poshmark, your shows, all of that. You're going to keep scrolling down until you see My Shopper Tools, or My Seller Tools. I'm sorry, My Seller Tools is the name of it. This one right here. You will click on that one, and then you'll get a bunch of more stuff. Now that there's the My Campaigns, that's how you earn free Posh money. If you guys have never done that, you click on that, and there will be different little campaigns that you can use. And you can earn Posh credit depending on what the campaigns are. The one that you guys are going to click on is My Closet Insight, which is this one right here. Okay. Then it'll take you to this, and you'll see your sales and everything. Okay. So that's on your phone. If you do it on your laptop, is the way I'm going to show you now, is how to do it on your laptop. So that way, if you guys just want to do it on your laptop, you guys know how to do it. And you're like, yes, I got it. So when you first sign on to your laptop, the first thing that you're going to see is your, nope. Seriously? Okay, there you go. You'll see this. It'll be your feeds, right? On your feed page, you're going to click up on this little corner. I got to move your guys' screen. Sorry.
So it's sharing, I'm not seeing like a screenshot or anything. I'm seeing your manila folder.
You're only seeing my manila folder?
Yeah.
Is that what everybody's seeing? You guys aren't seeing the feed page? Yes. Does anybody see the feed page with the closet? Or is it still?
I see a whole bunch of images, but I don't know if that's what we're supposed to be seeing. They look like graphs.
Folder. You have pictures, closet open. You need to go to the actual image and double click it. Like whatever you're trying to show us right now, you got to go into the image. Did you do slides, you said?
No, I just did. I made it a little closet, but obviously it didn't work.
You have 2 monitors, images, right? Or just one?
I just have one.
You just have one? Okay. What happens if you minimize your folder?
Okay, let's see.
No. Okay. So you're sharing an actual application on your computer and not the screen. That's what's happening.
Okay.
So do you see share screen or share folder? I don't know what it would be called on yours.
Yeah, it says basic, advanced. Okay, you know what? This will just be easier. I'll just click on every single one. That's fine.
That's what I thought you were doing, so I'm glad there's another tech person in the chat because I've got multiple devices rolling.
You know what? I probably have too many screens open too, so it's like, no, I don't want to work. Okay, hold on. I'm closing all my screens out. There we go. Okay, that's the one I want. Nope, not that big. Don't be that big. Okay, there we go. All right. Now I've got it going, possibly. See all windows. What? I have that window open. Okay, you can tell I am not an expert at this. So here you go. You guys all think I'm like amazing and I'm really not. I'm like over here messing with stuff going, come on. Oh, Beth wants to come in. Hi, Beth. I'm over here playing, so don't mind me. Where is the screenshot? Ugh. You said it in advance. I'm going to try that because this doesn't want to work. My tech gurus that are in here. So if I click advanced or if I click folders, will that work? You think? Oh, downloads. No, that's Dropbox.
Where's my friend?
Nope, that's not what I wanted. Oh my goodness. All
I
right.
was muted. When you click on share screen in Zoom, does it give you like share my desktop or share my C drive folder? Like, does it have the
It says
options?
I get basic and I get advanced and I get folders. And I don't know why. So when I click on the folder part, which I thought it would do it, but it's not doing it. And then now it's not even showing me my picture. Hold on. I have a lot of
Okay,
windows.
so select basic because that should share your entire desktop.
Okay. Okay. And then, okay, share my screen. Okay. So if I share my screen, there we go. Okay, there we go. Can you guys see it now?
It might take a second to load in. There it goes. Now we can see your web browser. Yeah, we can see
Okay,
everything on your screen
awesome.
now. So now you should be able to.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, now you guys are seeing all the stuff I've closed. Okay, so if you see on your feed, you'll see that right here, you know, it says your name. And what you're gonna do is you'll click up on this corner so you get this little drop down. And then, that's not the next screenshot I wanted. And then you'll click on, so you click on that one, and then you're gonna click on my sales, okay? So on the laptop, it's a little bit more confusing, but you're gonna click on my sales. And then once you click on my sales, you'll have this next, there we go, this picture that says my sales. Over here is where the closet insight is, and you're gonna click on that. Then you're in your closet insight, okay? So as you can see, I did this one when I didn't have anything, it was still loading. So that's why there's no numbers on this whatsoever. So then, don't mind these ones. I'm gonna go all the way to the front because these are so out of order. So when you're in there and you see your closet insight, you're going to, the very first screen that pops up on the very, very top is going to be this one, okay? Now, if you have sales, your sales number will be right here. And then right here will say how many units you've actually sold. And it's only going to be for the month, okay? So when you automatically do it, this screen right up here, it says month. You will literally click down on this and you can do it by month, you can do it by week, you can do it by day. There's a couple of them. I can't remember all of them. It's month, day, week, year, 12 months, and all times, okay? So now when you're trying to get your numbers together and it's the start of a new year, you want to look at last year's, okay? So you would do the year, because what you want to do is you want to get the idea of how much you sold for the whole entire year. So this one that I'm doing right here is just of December's. So you can see some days I had better sales than other days. You can see, I told you guys I'm going to be very translucent, except for actually the dollar amount, obviously. There's days where I had no sales whatsoever, none. So everybody's going to have days where there's zero. If they don't, that's awesome. Congratulations. But most people have days where there's one day that you're going to have, or a couple days that you don't have any sales. So you can see 1 through 5, I had sales. Then this one would be like 6, 7, then you got 8, you know, they're kind of off. So you kind of got to guess, like this is the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, right? So on the 6th, I had no sales. So this gives you an idea of how much you've done throughout the month. So you know where you need to go. Now this is going to be your net earnings. So this is how much you've actually earned from Poshmark. So the number up here will change. So when you look at this first one for the month, it's going to give you the total dollar amount, including all of your fees, all of your shipping discounts that you've offered, everything. It's going to be the total gross amount. This next one will actually be your net amount. So that will be after the Posh fees. Okay, so that's, you're more like, okay, yes, I understand. I did $200, or I did $70, or I did $2, or whatever you had done for that day. And you can literally click on each little green one, and it's going to tell you how much for that exact one. Now, if you wanted to do this, and you could go to how many listings you have sold and how many orders per day. So you know which day is your best day, which day isn't your best day. Now, the really cool thing is that you can slide this little bar over. There's actually a screenshot of it that I'll show you that will actually compare to last year compared to the last month prior, or is it the last year? I think it's the last year. Yeah, it's the last year. So it'll actually do December 2021, and you can see the numbers because there's like this little wavy little line, which is, hold on. These didn't go in order, and I was trying to put them in order and it didn't work. So I don't know where it's at without. So when I get to it, I'll show you and say, okay, because it's pretty far, it looks like. So now you guys are probably like, okay, that's all cool and dandy. Why do I care about that? Here's why you care about that. Remember how you have your screen on your Poshmark, and you actually put your pictures, and then you put your title, and you put your description, and you put your brand, and you put your color, you put your size, you fill all that out. This is why that is important. The one right underneath that is going to be your brand insight, and it's going to tell you what brands you sold the most of. Okay. So as you can see, my handcrafted was the most in December. I sold more handcrafted than I did anything else. Then my next one is vintage. Okay. So if I were to go shopping right now, I would be looking at, okay, you know what? Vintage. I need vintage. I need EMG. None. That's why you don't want to put none. If you put none, you're going to have this problem right here. You're going to have all this stuff of none, and you're not going to know which ones of your brands are the top brands that you're moving. Okay. Then I've got the Simpsons. Then I've got Babe, however you say that, BB, and then so on and so forth, right? Then the next one is going to be the average sale price. So which one you actually made the most money on the average sale price. So these ones I could have sold maybe for $25 a piece, right? And it's going to take the average and put the average here. Same thing with the handcrafted. So you can see that my handcrafted, I don't actually make in the average sale price isn't as high as my EMJ was. And I could have maybe just sold that one. For example, I could have sold that one maybe for $80, and there's only one, right? So now how do you know that, right? That's the next spot. It's going to tell you how many you actually sold of every single one. So if you only had one and you sold that one for $80, of course, that's going to take this and skew this a little bit. And I know you guys are probably like, well, how do you know how many you have listed? Don't worry. We're going to get into that too. So then the next one is going to be your sales insight. So this is going to be by your category. Okay. So it's going to tell you in your woman's category, this one is the huge one. This one is the one that is going to make your shopping trips super, super fast, easy, simple. Okay. So you're literally going to have women's, if you've listed in women's, if you've listed in home, men's, electronics, and there should be kids, right? If you have any sales, okay, this is just the sales part. This isn't what you've actually listed. This is what you've sold for that month. So as you can see, my women's is the highest thing that I sell. Then I had some home and I had some men's. I had very, very, very little of electronics where it couldn't even register, but that's why it's there. So automatically, if I'm going to the thrift store, I know I'm going to look for women's, right? Now my average sell price, now look at this. Remember, I didn't have very many men's, but look at my men's. My men's and my women's are at the average sell price almost even. So I could be like, okay, you know what? Maybe I need to sell my men, maybe I need to pick up some more men's stuff because I'm selling it at a higher average price than I am my women's stuff. So I'm getting more average price on my men's than I am my women's. Now my home, I'm actually doing pretty good on my home too, because look, it's halfway in between my men's and women's. I could pick up some more home. And then electronics, not too bad, right? Got a couple sales there. So my average listing price on these is actually pretty good. So now we're looking at how many units. Now remember when you just looked at my average sales price for the men's, it was super high, but look at how many actual units I sold of men's, hardly anything. So automatically that tells you that in my closet, maybe your closet also, you can sell your men's prices for pieces for a little bit higher than you can your women's, because the men aren't obviously sending in offers like women are, where women are sending in offers, but men aren't. Now you can see, yes, I've sold a lot of women's. I've sold more home than I did men, but there again, my average sell price was actually higher than it was for my men's. Now, this last one is the condition. So when you guys hit that condition and you hit it as brand new with the tag or not with the tag, or you put brand new with the tag and it's a boutique item, this is where that is going to come into play. So you can see the majority of my stuff is not new. And then I have about the same amount of new and boutique items. So the boutique, if you guys don't know what a boutique is, you have to apply for the boutique. And the boutique, the definition of Amazon's, Poshmark's boutique is that it cannot be sold anywhere else. So let's say you happen to have, I'm trying to grab something, like these, right? If these were sold at Walmart, so these would not be considered a boutique item because you could literally go to Walmart and pick these up. So it more or less has to be something wholesale that you've picked up if you have a wholesale license, or it has to be handmade for it to fall into the boutique items. Now, the reason why I explain that is because if Poshmark ever got upset and was like, and someone complained about you having stuff, say maybe you could get off of Amazon and you're like drop shipping it, then and you ran it as a boutique item, they could actually end up closing your account because the definition of boutique item means it cannot be found on another site like Amazon or Walmart or Target, something like that. It has to be either handmade or wholesale is the definition for a boutique item. So that's that, and you have to apply to get it. Okay, so now here, remember I told you guys you can look at the year. When you change your year, the bad thing about this is I did this screenshot at the end of December. So if you guys hit your year right now, you're not going to have January. January is not in there. You're only going to have February, and then January is going to be right here. So it kind of pushes it. So it pushes the month that you're in to the front of the matrix, and it keeps the back. So this was my month. This is basically a glance at my year of what my year looks like. Okay, I know there's a couple things in the chat. Okay, I don't see any like real questions. You guys are just talking. I'm like looking to see if there was any questions. So here's the year. Okay, so remember I told you guys can do the compared. Here's the compared graph. So this is really important. And I want you guys to focus on this one also, because if you're thinking, like everybody knows, or you might not know, because I know there are some people that are only at their 6 months, that Poshmark changed their algorithm back in, I think it was April. It was either April or May that they had changed their algorithm to a different algorithm where they changed it. And everybody started complaining that their sales tanked. Okay. Now, if you look at your sales throughout the year, like me, I'm happy. This to me is amazing because I even grew in January. You can see my gray line is right there and my green is right above it. Every single month I was up, every single month. And that's what you want. You want that steady growth. If you're flatlining, then you need to tweak your closet a little bit because you're not going. If you're dropping down, then you need to figure out where you're at. And this is how you're going to be able to understand, like, okay, what did I do different from that month to this month? Okay. Now, that's why this is important, because you can literally see your year in advance and be like, okay, this is what I did. Same thing with the branding. So this is actually a year. So you can see, remember I said, if you put none, it's going to screw you up. I wanted to make sure you guys saw that, look, none screwed me up. I have this big bar that I put the brand as none. I have no idea what brands this was. None whatsoever. So now I'm like, okay, crud, what just sold for the brand? And I have no idea. Next was my Poshmark swag stuff. That was the next. Then it was my handmade. Then it was vintage. Then Nike, a silhouette. I only had one of those silhouette machines. So that one's kind of, and same thing with this. I only had one of these and I only had one Nintendo. So I know on these, I only had one of each one of these. The reason why these are so high is because they were sold for a higher value. Like the silhouette was like 100 and something because it was a big bundle. Shoes were like 100 and something, and then the Nintendo was 100 also, and then everything else was smaller amounts. So then again, see the average sale price. Look, my silhouette now, I've made more money on just that one. I made more money on these shoes. TSR, I don't remember. Oh, that's Dungeons and Dragons, and I had a lot of Dungeons and Dragons books, and I had sold a bunch of those. So that's how you can tell, right? So already now I know when I go to the thrift store, okay, if I can find silhouette stuff, yep, I'm on it, right? If I can find Dungeons of Dragons stuff, I'm on it. If I can find, let's see what else is good in here. Any fossils, I'm on it. Abercrombie and Finch, I'm on it, because all those are some of my top sellers throughout the whole year. Same thing with the listing. See there again, there's none. I had more none selling because I was lazy and did not put in the brand. So my none is higher than everything else. So now when I go to look at this, I can't go and go, okay, but see, look, I sold a couple pairs of Nikes. So I know again, okay, Nike sells pretty good for me. Should totally look into that. So here is your insight. This is where I was showing you guys more about the none, because when you look at this one, so you're in this brand insight, right? The next one that's right underneath it is your sales insight. So right underneath that is your sales insight. If you click on this little drop down right here, you can drop this down to exactly what exactly you want it to be. So let's say you're doing, like I said, so I picked women's, right? Look how many none I have. I can't tell you what these brands are because they're all none. I have no idea what brand they are, but I know I sold a lot of none, and I used other. So when you drop this down, it's going to give you little sections. So if you click on women, then it'll tell you, you know, those categories, all those categories, the women's, the dresses, the accessories, all of that. You can literally click on each one, which I should have clicked. Yeah, I did. Okay, so I did other. So I chose other, but you can do this as dresses. So when you break this down, you can break this down, and I'll show you guys on my phone how much you can break it down. So if you go to the women's category, right? Because that's all I've sold so far this time. So women's, look at all those breakdowns. This is everything that I've sold so far. So I can literally click on any one of these. Let's do dresses, right? Now I've got dresses clicked, okay? So as soon as I do that, I'm gonna click done. And then it's gonna change my matrix over here to all the dresses. So I can see all the brands, all the sizes, right? Because now we're gonna break it down to even more. So you've got my maxi and my mid are my two dresses that I've sold the most of, okay? So cool. Well, let's say I wanna know what exact color sells. So then click on the color and it'll tell you what color you have sold the most of. So when you click on my other, you'll see that it's black, right? And then next is white. And then next is silver on my other. Well, this year so far, I've had white and pink sell the most. Then if you click over one more, it says size, right? Now we're gonna look at the size. If you put one size, your matrix are gonna look like this and you're gonna be messed up. So when you do your live sales and you're wanting to do those quick listings, which is amazingly awesome, but this is what ends up happening. Your matrix gets screwed up. Now, you can see now my extra large and my large are my top two categories. So if I were to go thrift store shopping right now, I'd be like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna go get dresses. Okay, what kind of dresses do I want? Oh, guess what? I sell maxi and mini a lot of. I've sold one of each. Okay, so I need to look, and this is just this month. This is just in 6 days. I've sold two of each. Okay, cool. What colors? Oh, white and pink. Okay, so I need to specifically look for white and pink. Go ahead. I thought somebody had to ask a question. Then I know my sizes are extra large and large, right? So I'm literally going to look in that section of the thrift store specifically for extra large and large mini or mid length dresses in pink and white. And then I pull those and then I'm done. And you can do that with anything. You can break the shoes down. So you know what exact, I don't think I've sold any shoes this year yet, but you can literally do it with shoes. Yeah, I haven't sold any shoes, but you can do it with shoes and it'll tell you what size shoes to go pick up and in what color and what type of shoe. So this breaks it, this sales insight is what's going to tell you the most of what you need to know when you go thrift store shopping. Then again, the same thing. I'm going to know how much I've sold by order. If it was by offers, if it was by bundles, if it was bundle, buy it now, or if it was just buy it now. So this tells you exactly how much you're selling. So if you're like me and your offers are the most, okay, you know, you make the most with your offer. So now you know how to price your items also, because you know that, hey, look, I mean, I have a couple, I mean, my buy it nows aren't bad. They're really not, but I sell more with offers. So I know, okay, I need to price it a little bit higher because I'm going to offer something lower. So think of the lowest price you want and then go up higher on the price that you want. So that way, when you do your offer, you're automatically doing and getting what you want on it. Yeah, I see Stacy says, I didn't realize that there was all this. Yes, that's why I said it is amazingly awesome, all the stuff that you'll find out in this Closet Insight. Now, again, there's the summary of the year, right? So I actually showed you guys again on the orders of how many, look, my orders even went up. That's how you know you're doing good. If you're constantly growing, your orders are growing up, your numbers are going up, then you're doing good. Now, just to give you guys an idea, look, this is all times. Everybody has this on there. You just click that top one and you just change it to all times. And 2017, look, I barely had anything. 2018, I wasn't really messing with Poshmark. 2019, I wasn't really messing with Poshmark. 2020, I was like, oh yes, I'm gonna start actually getting serious. My numbers went up. 2021, got more serious. And last year, look at this growth. This is what you want. I mean, if you can explain why your number sucked, like I can tell you guys, my number sucked on these 2 years because I was also working a full-time job and I was also trying to just build up and see what I really, really wanted to do. But then once I started getting in the groove, it constantly went up. I mean, this is huge, a huge amount compared to this. Now, here's how I made this happen. It wasn't just live sales. I don't want you guys to think that that's the only way you're going to make money, because it's not. This is how I listed. This is, if you scroll down past that, the next thing is your inventory of how much you have listed per month. It breaks it down per month. Same thing as it did on the top, per month, per day, per week, per year, and all times. I literally just in December listed 197 items for the whole entire month. That's pretty good. That's not the most I've ever done, but that's pretty good. So then compared to last year, compared to November, here's how much I listed in November. All these gray little lines is how much I listed in November. And then here's what I did in December. So compared to November, I didn't list as much as I did for December. I didn't list as much as I did in November. November, I did a lot more. So that's how you know, you're like, okay, cool. Now here's for the whole entire year. That's how much I listed for the whole entire year. And you can see compared to January of, and this is the compared from last year because I switched that green bar over. So in 2021, I hardly listed anything in January. I did list more in February. And then in March, I listed way more this year than I did last year. April, I way listed more. And I even show you how much. So here I did about 475, it looks like. This one, I almost did 700 in October. This is what makes the difference, is how much you list. As you can see from my growth from last year to this year, I mean, from 2021 to 2022, my growth was huge. And you can see, I mean, look in October, I hardly did anything in October compared to what I did this year. Same thing with November. So that's how you're going to know where you're on track and where you're not on track. Then it breaks it down to inventory, how much inventory you have on hand by dollar amount. Then same thing with the actual categories. It breaks it down. So you can see my kids, I have quite a bit. This is just the value. So I have a lot of value in kids. I have quite a bit in home. Women's not so much, electronics, men's not so much. And I have like nothing in pets. So that is where you're going to be like, okay, and then you can literally go along and see how much you have listed of every single item. So you can know, so then you can look at this and then go back by your sales and go, okay, wait a minute. I only listed 6 men's items and I sold all 6 of my men's items. Okay, maybe I should pick up some more men's. So it kind of directs you into which way you need to go, just by looking at these numbers. This is all free. It's in everybody's site, everybody's Poshmark account. And then it tells you also, based on what you have listed, how much new without tag you have, how much boutique, and how much new with, so new without no tag, and then new with tag. So I have 741 items that are not new with the tag. I have 285 items that are in my boutique, and then I have 213 items that are new with the tag throughout this whole entire year. So this is everything I've listed throughout the whole entire year. Now you saw that my new items, go ahead, Dee.
Just a quick question. When people buy the pallets, do they consider that wholesale for the boutique?
No, that is not considered wholesale for the boutique because it's actually like Nordstrom's pallets that they've bought. And so that would be considered new with the tag, because you can literally, it's usually Walmart clearance or Amazon clearance or basically dead stocks. That's the word I was looking for.
Okay, thank you.
From it. No problem. Does anybody else have any questions? Okay. So that's it. That is literally how you read your closet insight. I know it was kind of a lot, but that is how you read your closet insight, and that is how you make it work for you. So if you literally are going like, I know a lot of you have kids or you have a full-time job or you're busy, that's how you look into it. And that's how you know when you go to the thrift store, okay, hey, wait a minute. Like I know starting in October, knee-high boots sell for me because of that closet insight. So I go out and get my knee-high boots. And then I look at what sizes, like I thought 9s sold really, really well for me. They actually don't. I can't sell 9s at all. I've had 4 9s listed and I've sold one of those 4 9s. Now 7.5s sell really, really good for me. Now, just because those numbers sell for me doesn't mean that they're going to do it for you. That's why it's specific for you, but you have to make sure you fill out every single one of those lines. If you don't, you're not, that's why I showed you guys those ones with the none. So when you guys go into those shows, and I'm using the shows as an example because a lot of people that are doing the shows are doing this. They're doing that quick listing. And in that quick listing, when you guys go do your lives, I want to make sure you guys don't fall into that trap. There's only 3 things you have to fill out when you do that quick listing. It's the title, it's the category, and it's the size. And that's it. If you just fill out those 3, you're not going to know the brand, you're not going to know the color, and you're going to end up screwing up yourself when you go thrift store shopping, because there's going to be times where, yes, I know everybody loves spending hours and hours and hours, but sometimes you just don't feel it. You're like, I don't want to go for hours. I just want to go for a couple minutes and get some stuff I know that's going to flip. That's how you do it. And then you can also play with the brands and go, oh, okay, you know what? I want to test this brand. Go ahead, Star. What's your question?
Oh, well, I was going to say I do data analytics for a living.
Yeah.
And if you're brand new to Poshmark, like I started in September on Poshmark, so my insights are not going to directly reflect the best selling items for me because I started with what's in my own personal closet. And so most of that was like, let's say 15 pieces of Torrid. So if that's all I sold, it's going to say, oh, Torrid is amazing.
Right.
But
exactly.
like, so you do have to, if you're new to Poshmark, just from a data analytics perspective, you need to make sure that you're looking at like the entire picture in terms of like, I started with my closet, it was just Torrids, which would make it look like Torrid is amazing, which it is a good seller, Torrid as a brand. But then I went to a thrift store, and because I just started, I just like grabbed stuff, if that makes sense. Like I wasn't so into like the bolos and the specific stuff. And so you really have to look at like, what did you offer, and then expand from that. So if you're new to Poshmark, don't take it as, it's biblical and this is how it is. Do recognize that your starting stash may not be what you end up with. And why did X sell for more? Oh, because all I had was Torrid to begin with.
Definitely. That's
So make sure you take that into account as like a newer posher. You're also not going to have that year over year analysis and that kind of stuff. So make sure you're looking at everything and the nuances involved when you're analyzing it. But it is a really good tool. I'm not trying to like negate that.
Oh no, you're so right. And that is true. And if that is all the brand that you have, that's why I say, like, if you have the bargain bins, like, honestly, that's okay. So if, like Star was saying, if you don't have very many, you're just working in your closet and you want to test out brands and you don't want to dive really, really deep into it, I wouldn't say go thrift store shopping. Search Craigslist, search Facebook Marketplace, search free alerts, and pick up clothes for free. That way, or go to, if you guys have the bargain bins, go to the bargain bins, test out the brands, look and see what brands, because like Samantha, she's in here, she just sells nothing but activewear. That's all she sells. I mean, that's her whole entire closet is nothing but activewear. She sells everything activewear, from the bras to the leggings to the sweatshirts. So her analytics compared to mine are totally different also, because she just focuses on her activewear and that's it. So, but she can tell you that hers will tell you that, okay, yeah, even though Lululemon is like an amazing brand, she'll tell you certain stuff, not Lululemon, Now I can't think of the name of the activewear.
No, you're right. Lululemon is an amazing brand, but I actually don't sell. I sell more Nike because you can't find Lululemon. So yeah.
So see, so her and she'll tell you, like, she can tell you what size sells well for her, what color sells well for her, exactly what it is, and she can go in, and hers is totally different. So her home and her men's aren't going to look anything like my home and men's does, because I pretty much buy everything and anything if I can make a buck on it. So keep that in mind too, that your analytics are going to look different. But if you want, she doesn't have the bins, so she can't go to the bins. So she's kind of in like a niche thing where she has to go to certain places. So for her, I don't know how. I know you said you've relied on it, but you'll have to say exactly how well you rely on it if you've started to, because I know you were kind of playing with your numbers for a while too. So did you end up getting it down where you look at them more now?
Hi everybody. Samantha Andrews. I'm a runner and all I do is sell activewear because that's all I know. So for me, I personally, I have a legging collection that's out of this world, but there's some things that I would never sell on Poshmark because they're just not going to sell. So in the beginning, what I did was my shop has to support itself. It has no debt at all. So when I first started, I only had like $20. And what I would do is, I know Nike, I know Adidas, and they do sell, but when it gets to these other brands, like some of you guys have probably never heard of this brand called Ink and Burn. If you're a runner, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Ink and Burn, the items are like $100 a piece and they don't exist anymore. I know that. And so even let's say you didn't know that and you looked it up, you can look up the comps and see, but please note that all cute leggings do not sell well. So what I've done over time is, number one, some stays for a long time, like Victoria's Secret and Torrid, once they leave my closet, they will never come back to my closet because they just don't sell for me, but other people sell them all the time. I cannot move them if I tried. So I think the analytics are amazing, but I also would say, make sure you guys have quality listings. That is the key, not putting up a million listings. Make sure your listings are good, meaning that front, back, all the measurements. I know people don't like putting them in, but people cannot return your item. And that also gives you an opportunity to look for flaws. Make sure you do all of that, because when someone comes to your closet, do they have the confidence of knowing that whatever I see is what I'm going to get, versus they open a box and they're like, what the heck is this? So be very careful, because quality listings will always trump anything else, and you will get the analytics that you want.
Very well said, Sam. Dee, go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry. So I have a stockpile of like vintage clothes of my mom's stuff. It's new with tags, new without tags. How would that change the comps that you just showed? I mean, those names, some of those names that don't even exist anymore. So how would that change that?
So you can, the best way for that stuff, and Kat is like the vintage queen, and she was getting ready to unmute to answer your question. I'm gonna let Kat tell you, because I know for me, I just put in the branding vintage, but Kat definitely does a totally different way, and I'm totally giving the floor to Kat on that one.
That would be great. Thanks.
She's an amazing.
All right, it's gonna sound really weird. I missed it. What brands were they? Or do you know, just random, like, what era are they from? Like the 80s, 90s, 70s?
My mom was a fashionista. She took care of her clothes impeccably. So she has stuff from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
You got a
she
good
has a
selection
whole,
then.
yeah.
You have, comping that vintage stuff is really hard. Vintage is, right now, vintage is kind of reliant upon what, our 25 to 30-year-olds are picking up, and so, and like vibing on, because I have college kids. I have a 25-year-old and a 24-year-old, and some of the stuff that this girl gets, I'm just like, what? Why? Like, why? Like, I wore that in the first grade, and it's cool again, apparently. But the vintage stuff comes down to how you portray it. If you can actually find a similar, screenshot, or look at, or designers that, you said you're like, they're non-existent anymore. Like, there was a company that was Signals, back in the 90s, like late 80s, early 90s, and they had some really unique prints. I actually came across one of their button downs a couple weeks ago and wore it for like once and then put it in my Posh closet and sold it. But it was books. It looked like a bookcase. It had book print. So stuff like that. I'm trying to find, I'm trying to see, oh, I have it. All right, okay. Like I have vintage stuff because, like I said, it's typically what my midget and I pick up because it's her jam. I mean, okay, when we go shopping, there's a gang of guys that we know that we call them the t-shirt boys. Yeah, the t-shirt gang. But okay, this is a vintage piece. It says Futura Couture of New York. And it's a hand embroidered tag, or it's an embroidered tag rather. And then it has like a little tiny union tag right here sewn in. But this piece is like a couture, like fashion piece. And if you said she's a fashionista, you might find items like this where it's sewn and the seams are exposed, the lining's not, totally complete.
They look like they're hand sewn, right?
Sure. Do it.
They look like they're hand sewn, like one of a kind kind of things.
Yes. And it may be because what a lot of people don't understand, my grandmother sewed formals for a Belk department store. She actually sewed them at a San Francisco department store, and their dresses, their formals during the 50s, 60s, and 70s were all hand, like I say hand sewn, but they were sewn and cut by seamstresses at the store. They didn't do assembly line work, whereas they would have the same dress in different colors, but they were all created by somebody that worked there in the store. And you'll see metal zippers is another thing. But if you can actually look through, it takes a little bit of research on your part. It kind of depends on how much you want to invest into it, if that makes sense, to get your money's worth for the research. That's my problem. I'll find pieces like this one's not for sale, but this is like a 90s tag. It says Bedford Fair. Okay. I've never even heard this brand, but apparently it was popular in the 90s. And this is like a weird, well, see, I'm on my laptop, so it's like kind of trash. But yeah, it's like a rodeo cropped Aztec polyester jacket. I picked it up because this is what style is popular in my area for like rodeos, festivals, things like that. The FFA
Gotcha.
kids, the ag kids, my college kids, they're wearing this. And like I said, festivals, like my daughter would wear this with, like short shorts and like a mesh tank top or something. But because I'm in South Texas, you guys, and it's a smooth 75 degrees here today. So
I'm jealous.
So, and that's another thing you have to take into account, how you portray it. Vintage sellers that make the most money on their items typically have the item modeled. And I have noticed, because I've done more research on this recently in the last week, since I've come across more vintage items, and we're a catch and release closet. Everything that's listed in my closet, we purchase to enjoy for ourselves, because when we're shopping, we're like, who'd like that? I would like that. That's amazing. This is me. So you get home, if your thrift store doesn't have a fitting room or something, and you're like, okay, this isn't going to work out. Destiny's got to come put her foot on my back and grab onto the jacket and pull me out of it. It was a bad decision. So it goes to my Posh closet. But if you have a kiddo or family member or something that can pull it off, put them in it. Put them in the backyard against the fence and take a couple of pictures. I've got Destiny in my closet in a Jessica, Guinea Sacks dress from the 80s, formal wear. We actually dyed it a Cinderella blue. I bought it. It was in horrible condition. Like the color was faded from sunspots, so we dyed it. And I have a video of her in the backyard walking in it, and I'm like, please excuse the slides, you guys, but hey, the dress is for sale. But yeah, with vintage, it's how you portray it. If you don't have access to somebody that can model it, or if it's not something you can model, and you don't have to include your face. there's a ton of ton of postures that are like the mirror with the, just from here down, they'll crop it. I mean, you don't have to worry about any of that. Or if, you know, you can't have access to any of that or don't want to do that, just a dress form. I mean, if you have that, flat lays are good, especially if you can include like put together kind of an outfit from your closet, because what I've noticed on Instagram is when you post that blurb about what you have in your closet, oh, hey, this top is available in my closet or on Poshmark or whatever. I have a direct link in my bio to my closet. I actually bought my business name website and
Nice.
forward it to my Posh Closet. So if you can, just make sure it's clean cut. You got to remember, vintage shoppers are ones that enjoy the brand. They're going to look for it. They're loyal to it. Talbot's, Alfred Dunner, you know, was it Quacker Factory?
Quacker Factory,
right?
QVC,
Okay, it's
Quacker
like
Factory.
QVC.
Mhm.
Okay, Quacker Factory has a huge following for that stuff. Let me tell you, some of the weird. Oh, if it's a weird cardigan or sweater with giraffes or ducks or something, pick it up.
I
I
just
swear.
figured I have so much stuff, it doesn't pay for me to go out and get more while I
Oh yeah, yeah.
while
So
I have
you're
a whole basement full of
Yeah,
stuff.
you're
that's
You
taking
know what I
work on a
mean?
money pile. That's what we call that.
Yeah.
We're like, it's a money pile. Like, and we have people that do that. They will, like, a friend of Destiny's actually gives her stuff to give me. Like, Destiny will weed out what she wants and then she'll give the rest to me. And I end up with a bunch of like tiny stuff.
Right.
And people will say extra smalls and all of that are harder to move. And yeah, they are, but Posh Shows has blown it wide open. Like, there are shows that are specifically set for certain sizes, like Stylish Giraffe with Tall Girl Tuesday. I'm actually collaborating now to start Fun Sized Friday, and I know that sounds funny, but I'm only 5'2", so when you got to reach into the washing machine for the last sock, and you're kind of
5'3", so I get it. I get it.
so
5'2", so I get you.
yeah, like I said, there are shows that are starting to become themed like that, and the following is huge. Like on Tuesdays, there are so many people in her show after 5 o'clock because they're 6 foot tall. They're women looking for size 13 cute shoes, and Poshmark is where they're finding them, and somebody's taken all of them and put them in one show. It's
Well,
not
I
their
do
stuff.
have the dress form. I do have a 40-year-old daughter and I have a 16-year-old granddaughter. So I have models.
Oh
I have
yes,
dress
see,
forms, so I'll take your advice on
see,
that.
that's what I'm
Thank
saying.
you.
Like,
Yeah.
I mess the redhead in my closet is my oldest girl. She's 25, and we joke with her because on her 21st birthday, she actually was wearing a Disney shirt when she went to dinner with us when we took her out, and they were like, thought she was 14 and gave her a kids menu. We were dying. So if you have access to somebody that can just throw it on, and I'm talking Destiny she don't even smile. Like, her face is just made like that. And like that, people will buy it like that because of how she's all nonchalant, just like, look at my cool sweater, this is Gorpcore, and North Face can't touch this 1987 sweater that was around even when I wasn't. That's what they're buying. That's the crap they're buying, let me tell you.
Well,
And
my
I say
16-year-old
that because that's Destiny.
my
Destiny's like, is this
16-year-old
crop? Is this
granddaughter.
crop? And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, Destiny. But of course, she's like, has her moments where she's like a modest grandma, where she's like, girl, does your mom know that your Christmas is showing? Does she know that all your business is on the street? She would tell somebody real quick. So like I said, if you have access to that, use it. If not, they're Google celebrity photos. Oh my gosh. Okay. For those that don't know, Paris Hilton just launched her own tracksuit line.
Wow.
And her launch for her tracksuit line, the Iconic line, as she's calling it, Iconic, is going viral on all the social media I've seen. But her launch of it is putting Juicy to shame.
Oh, wow.
Because our kids want that style. I know, right, Chrissy? I'm like, excuse me. Oh my gosh. I was like, geez, excuse me. Nothing will be better than a 1995 Juicy Couture tracksuit.
Exactly.
Across the butt.
I'm sorry if anyone likes her. I'm sorry, but I gotta say I would not buy anything from her, especially if she touched it, because who knows what's coming along with that outfit.
Oh my. Well, I mean, okay, in the last 5 years, she has had to clean up her act because her family, y'all, she's like, she's it. She's it for the Hilton line. That's
Take the
it.
money.
Like,
Mhm.
I mean,
I don't care. I don't care.
now
Nope.
her family, like, we know how she acted in the past. I mean, we all know about, but I mean, y'all still buy Kim Kardashian's crap.
I don't.
Not
I mean,
me.
not you. You also are boycotting Victoria's Secret and everything else, which I get. There's like, I get that. I understand it, but I'm just saying, like, if y'all still paying Kim's big old butt for some more plastic surgery on, like Michael Kors, and see, I'm big about that. I'm like, you're gonna drop $235 on a Michael Kors outlet bag, but you can't come on to Poshmark and pay like $37. Why are you like this? See, that's the first thing I do. I'll straight up be standing in the store checking Poshmark before I'm paying retail. I'm on Poshmark going, please, Lord, let somebody have this in the closet for less than $20.
I have my granddaughter now texting me going, Poshmark, can you see if you can find me some Lululemon leggings for size 10? And I'm like, oh, okay,
And
sure.
Lulu
I'm the
is, girl,
Fine.
people are sleeping on some of these shows. Like they're sleeping it. Like some of these shows, the silent shows, don't be sleeping on the silent shows. I know people are like, oh, I can do that. That's no fun. I just queue it up, and if something comes up on the screen and it's Lululemon for $5, most of the silent shows are running stuff for $4, $5, $7. That's less than $15 shipped. I mean, Lululemon. I work at an outlet mall. Lululemon is never less than $40.
Mhm.
A headband at the outlet mall for Lululemon is $27. That was the Black Friday sale price. I'm like, I don't need no headband that bad. I'm just saying, like, oh. But yeah, I mean, that's why I try to tell people, if I'm in a chat and something pops up for sale, I'll be there real quick, like, to tell them, hey, this outlet price, don't sleep on it. Also, don't stress about comps.
Yeah. No, Kat said it perfectly. Don't even look at, if you guys are looking at comps. I
On
mean,
Poshmark,
yeah, I know there's a lot of people that are like, oh no, comps don't mean a darn
they're
thing.
trash after live started. And we're not being mean about that. We're not telling y'all like not to comp your stuff, because if it's not a brand you're familiar with, but the low to high, don't worry about the low stuff. Like, you have your own following. You have your people that follow your closet. There's a niche there. Like, you're evolving your closet and learning. Like, I would have never thought that I was going to sell a New Kids on the Block sweater or something ever in my entire life on Poshmark. I thought I was done with that phase of my life.
Yeah.
But I mean, I found that I recognize these things. Like, I came across something on Instagram earlier about Scotty dogs. Scotty dog crap is trending. And the ad was the sweater, like the blue and the red plaid from 1987 or something like that. And I was just blown away because people wanted the sweater or the jewelry or the bracelets, like the charm bracelet with the Scotty dogs on it. And I'm like, oh my gosh. But that's what's selling. People want it. There's a market. So,
CB wants your New Kids on the Block, Kat.
oh gosh. Yeah, no, not happening. It's already been claimed. Like, girl, I didn't even get it home. And my niece, who is like, yeah, Kelly's like, oh, can you put that in my pile? That's what she says, my pile. Because she has like a basket in my posh room that I put stuff in. And then she'll buy a $3 label from me and I'll ship it all to her. So yeah. Yeah, we do the roundabout family shipping through Poshmark, because $10 through Poshmark for a 5-pound package is a lot better than $24 at the post office going from here to like North Texas.
I never even thought about that. That's
I
actually,
did that for Christmas.
Oh,
I-
see, I am not alone.
I
Thank you,
never
Jesus.
even thought about that.
I told you.
But I like that idea.
I mean, Chrissy will do like, oh, I'll just throw it in my closet for $3 to buy it, so you have a label. But she didn't think about it in a way of like, sending your.
Yeah, holy cow, new idea.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kelly's the one that
I made
introduced
like
me to
a
Poshmark.
$5 listing and my dad bought it, and then I just used the label to ship his Christmas stuff.
Yeah,
5 pounds. You get
this
5
is how,
pounds
you
of
know
it.
what? This is why I do it right here. This is why I do
Yep.
Posh tips right here. Is for this insider information that I
Well,
would.
and there's another thing, like Chrissy shops all the time. She has a constant inventory to fill because this is her job. She's 24/7. I mean, and she's real. This is what pays her family bills. So if she slacks off or something happens, her bills don't get paid. So her inventory is gone. I call it turn and burn.
Yep.
So people always will come at you about, you're not making any money on $3 sale. You're not making any money on $5 sale. If you sell just one item, you're not. But most people bundle. Like right now that the bundles have kicked into place.
It's a game changer. It's a game
Yeah,
changer.
girl, I fell victim to it earlier. I shouldn't have. Went to a silent show. Oh my gosh, $28 later. I'm like, oh, it's only $4. Oh my God.
You're
And then I
making
got the
money and
invoice
you're
in my
burning it
email.
just as fast as you're making it now. Like, oh my God.
And I'm going, $28 for my Posh balance? What's wrong with you? Anyways.
We're
it's
turned
like-
into Renee.
it's gonna be me with Renee's show here in a minute, because I'm gonna be like, oh, that's cute. Oh, she done got me her last show, and those earrings. I'm glad I bought them because they're big. They're big old earrings.
That's awesome.
I know. One of the things, like I said, Chrissy shops year round. She does source to stock her closet, but they're also, people. Oh, handcrafted. Handcrafted is obvious. She does a lot of that. She's starting to go towards the way of custom items, and her prices are cheap right now. I know someone said something about the wholesale boutique. If you Google a brand name like Ontro, like UMGEE, what's another one? Oh, Lucky and Blessed, it says LNB on the tag. Brands like that. Ontro is ENTRO. Those are all boutique brands, and they say boutique brands because that is what is literally carried in like your small town boutique. Like we have one in our town, well, not where I'm at currently, but in our previous town, it was called Six Shooter Junction, and it's a boutique, and she carried Lucky and Blessed, Giddy Up Glamour, and another brand, Flying Tomato is another, and Jealous Tomato are two more boutique brands. And people are like, okay, there's such a saturation of those. You need to be careful about what you pick up. So pay attention to the style, but it does sell. It sells. I know in the South, there's stuff that can't be it can't stay in stock. I know we had last year, oh my gosh, my whole city at rodeo time was covered in, I'm looking to see if I actually have some here, but in serape, stripes, and leopard print together, all at the same time, with rhinestones and glitter that threw up on top of it.
No glitter. No glitter.
Girl, it was like, I call it rodeo queen realness, because but I mean, and buffalo clad and the dang farm trucks. Oh my gosh, everywhere. Christmas. It's not a Southern Christmas if you ain't got like 18 of these pillows at your house, obviously. Yeah, like I said, it kind of depends on your area, but remember, you're selling to everybody. Billions of users on Poshmark. I know if I go into the boutique and I see something like a cute shirt that I like for, and she's got $62 on it, nope, I'm gonna look for it on Posh. It's not happening. I don't buy wholesale from Posh either, because that is just other boutiques selling overstock. It means it's already saturated. Just saying. Those sellers that are approved for boutique certification, and yes, we all are, but most of them that take advantage of that are sellers that go to markets and the market is already saturated with whatever they're selling. I mean, that's why now you have to get out of your box. The last couple of months with Chrissy's blown minds as far as handmade stuff, because the girl's in the wind with something. She thinks about something. She's ordering supplies, has it done in like 3 days, and she's telling everybody about it. I mean, because that's how her brain works. So, and if it's trendy or trending, there are things, staples that never die. Leopard print's never going to go away, ever.
No.
Ever, ever. The faux leather earring thing, it's never going to go away. They're lightweight. They're cheap. You can, I mean, pair them up with a bunch of other stuff. I mean, yeah. And vintage stuff, vintage wedding dresses. Vintage wedding dresses, and I'm not talking like your high neck 1985 big bow on the butt dress. I'm talking about like your Dupont like silk with the dropped waist. It's very structured with like a cap sleeve or long sleeves. Because wedding dresses, I ran across
Are
somebody.
redonkulous.
Do what?
They're just redonkulous at regular price.
Okay, I agree. Yeah. Well, not only that, we're saving a lot of them because if they're flawed, they're going to either be thrown away or, you know, or part. I like to part mine out. I know that sounds weird, but I do sewing for a charity called Newborns in Need, and we make angel gowns out of the skirts of wedding dresses. But one of the things, girl, Chrissy, I came across this girl last week, and I can't remember if she was on Poshmark, but I came across her on Depop. She makes corset bodices out of the top of a wedding dress, and she dyes them different, like they're different colors. And
Why are you telling me these ideas? I don't need any more designs and more activities and programs.
I mean, girl, I saw them, and then okay, first I saw the price, and then had a heart attack, and kind of had to go in and do some research because I'm like, $195.
Maybe just grab something. She just grabbed. Oh, look at that.
See? Look at that, girl. Oh my gosh. What's the brand on that one? CB?
This is my grandmother's wedding dress from 1949.
Oh, wow.
That is amazing condition for that dress. The trim on that dress is just insane. I'm a seamstress, so
I don't know what to do with it. It's
What do you
in my
mean you don't know what to
closet,
do with it?
still in the original box. My dad wanted me.
Posh.
My
No, I'm
dad wanted.
serious. There's like girls that are looking for traditional gowns to get married in. That one, I'm talking like over $500 easy.
Yeah, I was
Did you
gonna
say 1929?
1949. 49.
See, okay,
That's gorgeous.
40s, 50s, and 60s. Those wedding dresses are money, liquid gold. Because if
I
you can
have
find,
no idea
you
what
can find
to
them in
do
good
with it.
condition.
I mean, I even have the veil, but the veil is falling apart.
Whoa,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
like, sell it, posh it.
exactly, girl,
Yeah,
and that's
I
what
know
I'm
what.
saying.
I mean, it has the buttons and everything that are
Yeah.
still there.
And it's a real button down back. They didn't do the zipper. You had to do 87,000 buttons to get her into that
Yeah.
thing. Wow.
Some of them are still like a little popped out though.
Yeah, see, I have one
speaking
in my
of a
closet
wedding
right now that's missing a button. It's ivory champagne color. It's from the late 50s, and I've got it listed for $75.
I don't even know what the brand is on this thing.
There's not going to be a brand. It's most likely handmade
We'll see.
or
That's what I
custom
thought.
made
Yeah.
because of the detailing on the dress. Like if it has a lot of appliques, all of that's been hand sewn on. The pearls on my mom's wedding dress from, I'm trying to think, it was like 1940 something.
If
Her wedding
you're
dress, the
interested,
pearls. See,
if
the
you're
pearls,
interested, I will sell it to you. I'll
the
list
pearls
it
on
and
her
sell it
wedding
to you.
dress were hand sewn to the appliques in Paris and then shipped. The appliques were bulk sold and then shipped to the US. A lot of people don't know that. The appliques on a wedding dress from that era is from Italy or Paris. Like they're hand sewn over there and then shipped over because they're real pearls. They're
Yeah, it's
real.
Got
Or
a little.
Swarovski like rhinestones, like crystal beads. They're the
When they
real
get
deal.
that altered, they'll fix those little other imperfections. They'll
They
fix
really
them.
will. They're a girl, like I said, we've sold a couple of wedding gowns that we've upcycled. The last one I sold that I upcycled with vintage laces and stuff because the skirt had a seam tear We just added more vintage lace to it and sewed it in place. My daughter modeled it. We sold it for $200. I paid $1.94 for it.
Wow.
I
Well,
had-
I'll list it if you're interested.
Yeah, see, CBR, get it listed, and we will show the crap out of it for sure. I actually-
All right. Perfect. Now I know what to do.
David, this guy's name, David. He's the wedding planner dude. David Chitira, whatever. Tuteria, whatever. Anyway,
Torah.
yeah. I was like, this is one of his dresses. It's like the mesh bodice. It's beaded all to crap. I picked this up at the bins for like $2.50, and
The
it had
top
some
is
flaws
gorgeous.
on the back. It had some flaws on the skirting because where the mesh had ripped and nobody knew what to do with it. I dyed it. It's dip dyed, and I actually did pin tuck pleats and sewed up the holes and did pin tuck pleats in the veiling or the skirting because it's a train. But yes, it's very, what did Destin call it? Nightmare Before Christmas style. And I finally found a black, ivory, and purple bridal veil or bridal bouquet to go with it. So this baby's getting modeled sometime soon. But no, I just put Rit dye. I cleaned it up. I put Rit dye in a tub, a giant Rubbermaid container. And I set the bottom of the dress in it for like, I don't know, like a day, 24 hours. But yeah, it's all purple. It's like an ombre purple fade. And it's just the bottom
Pretty.
of the dress. It's not the top.
Really
it's just
pretty.
the bottom. But yeah, I paid like $2 for this thing. So a little bit of Rit dye goes a long way. And all I did was hand sew the applique pieces. So I'm gonna get a good model photo of it, and I'm probably gonna list it for around $650. So a little bit of work goes a long way. Oh yeah, CBL, definitely like throw that puppy up there. Oh, and you said it was in the box. Show
Yes.
all that. People
Okay.
love the details. If it came with a fascinator or like a fascinator veil or something.
The veil
Oh,
kind of fell apart.
Oh yeah, Sam, that's because of some of the stuff. was
It's
just-
old. I mean,
So-
you just touch the fabric of the veil and it practically
Yeah,
falls
it
apart.
wasn't because it wasn't as well preserved as the dress. Yeah, and it's that cheap tool. I mean, that's
Yeah.
all I know about them, but I'm just saying. So
Yeah, the old school cheap tool, it's,
yeah,
yes.
but yeah, Chrissy does well. She's back to it finally, doing her Posh and Sips, dropping the gems. If you don't watch her live, she drops gems there too. Chrissy, are you double streaming too? Because yeah, are you double streaming? Because Chrissy's
Should have been, but no.
I was like,
Does anybody else have any questions though? Or
Can I
want-
ask something that's a little bit off topic? I don't know. You know how obviously the bid button's in a horrible place. Everybody misbids by mistake or whatever. And if somebody says something immediately, it's fine. But when you bid and keep bidding and bidding and then later on say, cancel it, I made a mistake, that's wrong. But it's up to your discretion. But what happens when the seller posts something up, say a purse, and she puts $50 and she expects it to go high, but it didn't and sold for $50 and then she cancels it?
oh, that sucks. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm the
Yeah,
seller in
they're
this
doing
case, not
that.
for her,
They
but I sold the
shouldn't actually
Versace
do
belt.
that.
Yeah,
They shouldn't actually be doing that, and I would,
I didn't cancel. I shipped mine out. I was like,
yeah,
oh well.
I would
make it up
almost
somewhere
say you
else.
would want to like, I hate to say it, and I know it sounds bad, but almost complain, especially if they're doing it a lot,
Right.
because when you start,
Other sellers need to know.
yeah, I would.
Happening a lot. It's happening
buy
a
it
lot.
too.
People know. Sam, go ahead.
What I would like to say is that when you do a live show or whatever, you have to understand as a seller that is a true, that can honestly happen. So do not start your item any less than you're willing to take.
Exactly.
Otherwise, if you set up for 50 and it sells for 50, then take your 50 and go. I look at people like, be very careful because, ask yourself, if you were this customer, how would you feel if someone did that to you? And once they've done it to you once, honestly, I'm not a blocker person, but I would block them so I would never have to deal with them again.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. They need to be report. I'm it's the same with Sam. I don't like blocking. I don't like reporting, but I would almost report that, because if they're doing it to you, they're doing it to other people.
But
And if
isn't it hard to prove on a live though? You know, at least if you have pictures or whatever, you know, it's hard on a live.
Canceling or
Oh,
what?
they know, because when you buy it, it should be in their sales thing.
Yeah,
And then when
it's
you
in their
cancel it, I mean,
sales.
Poshmark's not like eBay. eBay will cut your finger off. They're like, why you want to cancel this?
Yeah.
Poshmark, you can be like, the dog is purple, they wouldn't care.
Poshmark's an
So
automated bot. If you're
yeah,
canceling-
exactly.
If you're canceling, because in lives, only the seller can cancel.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's when you have to like plead your case, you know?
But
I
it's
ended
like
up with an item earlier that I swiped out of the show and bought.
Somebody said that they canceled it because they said there was a hole in it, but the next time they had the auction, they rebid it
They had
again
it
at a higher
listed.
price, so it didn't
Yeah.
have a hole then all of a
Yeah.
sudden.
I would be flagging that listing and reporting it to Poshmark and being like, look, they already sold this. They're canceling it, just because that's wrong. I mean, I can see.
Or if they, what is it, Chrissy, when that one girl did like where she sold it for not as high as she wanted to, obviously, and she canceled it and re-put it up like in her closet later that day.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I would not, no.
Well, what a lot of people don't understand is like Posh sellers, we do keep our own list. Like if you're being bullied or something at a show, add them to the list. If you have sales that I had a girl cancel on me in my show, she canceled her sale. She messaged me 12 hours after the sale. I had already dropped it off, by the way. She messaged me and said that her phone was in her pocket and she must have bought it on accident because of that. And I said, and my reply was, well, that's funny because you sure were chatting a lot before you purchased and you bid twice on this item. And I was like, but that's okay. You should have just asked me to cancel. And then I blocked her after I had to like go through the process to drive to the North Houston hub and retrieve my designer dress. And I was okay with canceling her order because she got a $350 dress for $25. So I'm just saying.
Wow.
Yeah, and another thing
bless
about
your heart, honey. That's okay. I'll drive right up there and get those dresses and put it back.
Another thing about cancellations is if someone actually cancel, even if it's annoying, just if you haven't shipped it, cancel the order. This is why. But those of you guys who don't do good listening and those who do, all the person can do is take your item, put a mark on the back, someplace you didn't show, and then they can open a case and actually destroy your item. So understand that listen, y'all, I teach. So when you teach, you deal with everything, bad buyers, liars, you know, they come to you already, and I'm like, okay, give me the excuse that I know is on my list.
It's easier to take the cancel, like Samantha
exactly.
said.
Just
It's
cancel it
easier.
and don't take it
If
to
it's
heart.
shady,
Then keep moving
cancel
on.
it.
Yeah. Otherwise, they can
I've had
destroy your
someone do
item.
that to me.
Yeah.
Oh, and you know what? I have had 2 cases in that event, like not from a live sale, but from a buyer's remorse sale. And me videoing my item saved my butt both times because Posh sided immediately with me. Because you know what? I don't even I'll reply in the case. I'm sorry that this happened. I'm gonna go ahead and escalate this to Poshmark and let them take care of it. And I immediately escalate it. And then in a separate email, I emailed the order number, my name, the buyer's name. In an email, I include the video and all of the pictures. And I said, tell me where the spot's at on this Lily Pulitzer that I put in this mailer and send it on the way. So, and this case closed after that. They'll be like, oh, I'm sorry about that. After reviewing, your case has been denied. That's right. Get out of my freaking closet. I mean, it sounds bad, but like Samantha, the cancels worth it. And Poshmark has a bot. They're going to cancel automatically for you. People they're vengeful, like buyer's remorse is real. Or they'll be like, it smells, because Poshmark can't prove, or you can't prove a smell on Poshmark. So what they do in that case is they give you the money and the buyer the money. And a lot of people get away with that too. They scam you real quick about that. Problem is like UPS drivers, FedEx drivers, USPS postal workers, they all have the ability to smoke in their truck or anything else. So that transfers to our packages.
I've had that happen with me a couple of times too. Like people
Even
complaining
if it's in a
about stuff
plastic
smelling
bag.
of cigarette. And I'm like, I don't smoke. What the hell?
Yeah, right? Yeah. Even if it's in a plastic bag, it happens because the box, the odor sticks to the cardboard. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible.
BB,
So-
I saw you had your hand up. Go ahead, and then Star, you can go ahead.
I was just talking about when we're going back to cancellations, I actually had to cancel on somebody. I didn't realize that the item that I had listed had damage to it, and I actually had to cancel on somebody, and I felt really bad. But I always take pictures of my order before I send it out. That way they can't say, oh, well, this happened or that happened. I can go back and say, oh, no. I took a picture of it. As I was taking pictures of it to get it mailed out and ordered, I saw that there was damage to the zipper. And I said, I'm really sorry. I took pictures of it. I sent it to Posh. I said, I'm being honest. I am not sending this item out. It's damaged. And the girl was like, well, I would have accepted it. And I said, that's not the point. I said, as I had to use my discretion as a seller and say, I'm sorry, I cannot send this out to you because I don't know if you're going to open a case on me, even though you say it's okay. I have to
Yeah, and
worry
that's
because
about
you got
quality
it in a
control.
bid.
Yeah, CB is like on top of her quality control. She's not going to send an imperfect, like if it has listed in the flaws or in the listing, that's one thing. But when she finds it like that, I mean, that's item control. Yeah, that's awesome on her part because she set herself to a certain standard of selling.
Yeah, that's really good.
You don't want that to happen to you, so do as, you know, do unto others. So, I mean, that's good. I mean, and what I do in that case is when I find something, when I'm mailing something out and it didn't show up in the listing, I do contact the seller and let them know, or the buyer and let them know, and then I offer them 20% off something else in my closet.
Star, you had a question first, and then we'll go to you, Sam.
So when you block somebody, they can still see your closet, but they can't like comment or purchase anything. Can they still go into your shows?
No, I know that's
So they can't go in?
Not at all. They cannot go in your shows. They cannot buy from you. They cannot comment. Nothing. They can only look at your closet. That's it.
Okay, so when you have somebody in your show and you use the mute whatever option for that person, is that essentially blocking them, or is it just muting them for that one show?
It's just the comment is just blocked for that one show. That's
so they can come in next time if you don't go and actively block them afterwards. Okay.
Right.
I haven't had that
And if you see them
situation,
comment, you got to mute
Ladies,
them in that
I
show.
have to go. It's nice to see a face to everybody's name. I gotta go.
Bye, DC.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for inviting me.
Sarah, hold on one second. Sam had a question, and then we'll go to you.
Actually, I have more of a comment about quality control. My thing about quality control, guys, start that at the point of sourcing. So I live in Atlanta, and everything is so plentiful. I don't even get excited anymore. I'm like, I find something I know will sell. I'm like, let me check first, because you'll get so excited and there's a big old hole in the crotch. You're like, dang it. So I would say with quality control, just be really mindful, because, you know, throwing away $2 here, $2 there, it's okay initially, but once you get to be a high volume seller, those $2 is like rolling down the street and every quarter mile, just throw $2 out the door, it becomes expensive. So I would highly recommend, when you buy it, flip get your camera out, look at the crotches. And then when you're listing it, this is why measurements are important, because as you're measuring the inseam, are those stitchings intact? So I would definitely say do that, because I hate the case process. It's so stupid. I mean, going back and forth and back. I'm like, listen, most of them I just accept the case and like, I don't have time for this right now. So I would say that would definitely save you a lot of time by just taking your time before you buy it and while you're listing, and do one more thing before you hit enter, so there's no shocks and surprises when you see it. And flawed clothing does sell.
Okay, Sarah, go ahead.
Hi, thanks. I sell a lot of IKEA, and I am constantly finding listings where people are using my photos. I mean, I use a lot of my own photos for products from IKEA. And then word for word, verbatim, they're copy and pasting my entire listing, which, you really work hard to, come up with keywords, with key phrases, things that make a product sellable. And Posh, unless they've used your photos, they won't do anything about it. They'll remove it if you can prove that they've used your photos. And when I originally thought that when I block somebody, they wouldn't have access, because I watched this woman take one item from my closet and then she copy and pasted every single item that I had into her own listings, and I couldn't stop her. Posh wouldn't do anything about it. Is there any way to stop that I'm missing?
Okay, so if you click on your little corner thing where your name is at, on your
Yes.
phone, you'll get the drop down, and what you're going to go to is your seller tools, kind of where your closet insight is, and then right down here there's a posh setting right there. You're going to click on that, and then up here it says that they are allowed to use your photos. If it's green, they're going to be able to use your photos. If you turn it off, they cannot use your photos, and that will, if they then copy and paste your photos, that then you can literally say, my thing is turned off, and then Poshmark will honor it because you have turned it off.
Right, and I do have them turned off, but they just take a screenshot of it and then just do a new listing, and then they go right in and copy and paste every part of my listing.
Also, make sure if you put like a little, not like a watermark, but kind of like a little watermark, kind of closer to the item, put that right there, and that makes it your photo. Soon as you
Yes,
put
but
that
The vintage
watermark-
sellers actually put a card with their name. They'll like tape it to the corner of the item where they can't crop it out.
and
yes,
that makes it your product, and then Poshmark has to abide by it. They have to at that point.
I do all of that. I do write my script. I do all of those things. But also through a lot of these apps now, you can just erase them right out, and it's not effective. And it's not really the photos. I mean, the photos, yes, I'm concerned about, but it's mostly the descriptions and just the plagiarizing of how is there a way to make it that someone can't just sit there and copy and paste? I mean, if you block them, shouldn't they
The
be
only way
blocked?
you'll get around that is if you're an actual business, like you have your business ID, your business name, and you trademark something. That's the only way to get around that. Unfortunately, it happens a lot, because if your photo is pulled up in the Google Photos, when people do the Google search for it, and your photos must be pretty good to be like more of a stock photo, if that makes sense. So they're just going to Google and searching the item, like, what is it, where you do the Google lens, that's it,
Yeah.
the camera, and
Right.
look it up, and that takes them to that. So for them, yeah, unfortunately, if you're not a business with a trademark on your description, it's not gonna, it doesn't help. And the only thing it's trademarked to IKEA, unfortunately, is the IKEA and their product names.
Mm.
So I have Renee's
Wait a minute, say that again?
The only thing that is trademarked at IKEA are their product names, and IKEA itself. They have their product names trademarked, so nobody else can do a lamp named Andrea or something, because it's IKEA. That's how they roll. It's kind of like they are famous for certain lines, and that's what they trademark. Like Kim Kardashian has Skims, and it's trademarked because it's under her business.
Right, and I put, photo credit. I do use some of their photo. I put photo credit IKEA. I mean, I give, them, but some of them are my photos, but even people knock off the way I set up my cover shots it's just been a really, and the
I
profit
don't waste
margin
my
isn't,
energy on them. If they're that lazy and they need to steal my stuff, y'all go ahead. That's all right, because the first Google search it comes up, it's gonna lead right to my closet right here. Y'all come see me. That's what I'm like. Free advertising, thank you, because your photos are gonna show up before theirs, because they're technically a copy. They posted after you. They're technically a copy. Sam has her hands raised for like 15 minutes. Sorry, Sam.
Okay. So Miss Sarah,
Yes.
as a college professor, we are dealing with that right now, which is plagiarism a lot. Matter of fact, there are programs that will write papers, and I am going to give a 0 so fast if I even smell that they have one. That's neither here nor there. What I would recommend is, I hate to say this, you just have to move on. I know it sucks, and I know it, and I've seen a lot of people say that, oh, people are stealing my stuff. I know companies say that too when y'all are using those stock photos. I would just move on. Don't waste your energy, because you can't stop it.
okay.
There's just nothing, and I know it's frustrating, and you put in, but just move on. Just keep selling yourself. There, I listened to this guy on YouTube. Somebody actually mirrored his entire closet, and they were selling his stuff on another platform. And then when somebody would buy it from the other guy, they would buy it from his closet and ship it to the person. There's just some things you just cannot control. So I would just say, don't worry about it.
They're drop shipping from his closet, basically. then.
Basically, yes.
Yeah.
They I forget what the word is. They basically mirrored his closet. He was like, well, somebody else is selling it. So I would just say, just move on. There's nothing you can do, and you'll waste so much energy trying to trace down to the point you might get in trouble, especially like kids like, wait a second, aren't you using our stock photos? Did we give you permission to do that? So I will let
Right,
it go.
well,
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes and no. And I just had a customer, because I have a lot of repeat customers, reach out to me and say, because of the distinctive way that I put
Right.
my, font on the front and do it
Mhm.
down the side, that she got fooled when she did do a Google search, instead of going through her sales, to try and reach me again, that she almost ordered from somebody else that had copied my style. But so that's what made me really start to think about it, is,
Well,
wow, I
here's-
wonder how many
Yeah.
other people are thinking the same thing too.
It's
but
done. It's
no.
done a lot, and there's nothing you can do about it. Like I said, that guy took his
but-
whole like 2,000
Yeah, but
item
they-
eBay and copied it, all of it.
How you
And they-
get around that, Sarah, is
The-
make sure that in all your listings, every one of your listings, put your closet name in the description. Every single one. So that way, if someone literally goes in and they accidentally and they don't hit that people and they just hit search, your listing is going to come up. Even if it's somebody else's because they're reposhing it, it'll be mixed in there. But the majority of your stuff is going to be there. And that customer or any other customer is going to be easily to define your closet from somebody else's. So like if you were to go right now and you were to search on Poshmark and you search Glamnbudget, just anywhere, like you typed it up on the top, you're going to get all of my listings first. And then the ones that have been copied and reposhed will then come up mixed up in there. But the first like almost 45 are going to be just of my closet. That's how you get around that. Just make sure
Okay.
you constantly
I
have
just added
your closet name.
Okay. All
or
right. Thank
hashtag.
you.
Like
Yeah,
if
or
I
hashtag.
use a hashtag sustainable style queens,
Yep.
it pulls all my stuff up in Google. Chrissy, I'm hopping
Thank you.
over. I linked Renee's live show in the chat. After
Yeah.
y'all get done with Chrissy and her dropping gems being amazing. Come and support.
Yeah, I
It
got
costs you $0 to come to our live shows and support us.
exactly.
Because the more viewers they see, the higher up it goes on that live show listing.
Yeah, I'm like in the middle all the time. That's fine. I'm okay with that. No,
I don't know. I just look for Chrissy's like pair of lips and her logo and like scroll, which is why she looks for the Barbie in mine. She's all going, you changed it to chicken nuggets. Why are you like this?
yes,
I changed it back.
That's just me. I think a lot of people do though. They look for
I
the-
do that too.
Yeah. So make sure if you guys do start going live, make sure you use the same picture all the time. Because if you guys change that picture, you're going to lose some of your customers. Did anybody have any last minute questions before we go to Renee's and she's like losing it because you guys aren't there yet? Anybody? Anybody at all? Any other questions? And I will be doing this again every Friday. So every Friday at 2 p.m. and it's the exact same link that you guys use this time will be the same exact one. And next week we're going to talk about going lives and everything about lives. So hopefully make you guys not so nervous if you choose to go live. If not, then hey, you're just getting a pre-advanced training. CB, what's up?
Chrissy, your passions of time is over. Come to my show. Did you hear me?
She's so funny. Yes, Renee, we're on the way.
Where is this shirt?
Okay, does anybody have any other questions before Renee loses it? Go ahead, Sam. I knew she was going to.
Can everybody just drop their closet, like the link in there?
Yes.
Drop their closet link in the
Closet
chat
name
so we
in the
can follow
chat.
each other.
Yes, yes, yes. Make sure you guys do that.
And I dropped mine earlier up. So I
Yeah,
see Christine follow me. Nice to meet you, Christine.
Not just that, that way I can post it when I post if you guys want to ever come back to this, if you came late, I did start a YouTube and I have my podcast. That's Everything Posh. You guys can go over there and I will link every single one of your guys' closet names inside that. Sam, I know which yours is. I have it written down somewhere. So make sure you guys do that. And then that way you guys can get credit from you guys coming in. And also because of the fact if someone comes into the YouTube or the podcast, they can come check you out.
How do I copy and paste? How do I like collect everybody's off of this after we sign off? How do I do that?
So if you go
Tech-
to do you ever go to YouTube, Sarah?
Yes.
Okay, I will have everybody's listed on the YouTube thing, and I can also send it to you too.
Oh, great. Okay, thank you. Technical, I gotta catch up a little bit sometimes.
Did you put your closet name over here?
Yes, Jess Percy.
Okay, got it. I will make sure I link, and I will also, when I update it, I'll put your guys's my listing. I put everybody's closet names over there too. I don't think I'm missing anybody. I know what Stars is. I have hers written somewhere. Some people's are over by their names too. Like Stars is, Stacy's is, CB's is, Christina's is, Clara's looks like hers is too. I'm just making sure I get all of them. If not, just if I miss anybody's, if you guys don't see your name on the thing, just make sure to message me and I'll add it to the stuff too, so you guys know. Any
Thank
other
you very
questions?
much for doing this.
Oh, anytime. Like I said, I'm starting to do them all the time every Friday, same time. We might make it a little bit later because a couple people want me to do it a little bit later, but I don't know. We'll see.
What is Renee's closet name? Because the link isn't working to the show for me.
Her closet name is Love to Shop 438. That's so bad.
Okay,
that
yes, I
know
forgot what it was. Okay, yeah. Okay, perfect.
I'm like, I know hers offhand. I'm like, oh yeah, here it is. Thank you, CB. She always type. That CB is my unofficial mod. All right,
I
ladies.
think
and
CB's everybody's unofficial mod.
yeah, right. We gotta start paying her.
You
Right?
never know whose show I might pop in next.
Every single show I go into,
Just go down the
CB's there.
I'm like, they don't have many people. Let's just say hi and tag everybody I know.
Exactly. That's how you do it. All right, everybody, have a great rest of your day. Have a great weekend, and I will see you guys next week or on the show unless
See everybody.
there's any other questions. Bye.
Thank you.
Pleasure to see
Bye.
everybody.
Yes.
I really do exist.